Good evening, students. Welcome to Unacademy YouTube. Hi, Taplu. Hi, Ria. So, today I welcome you on board. Today's class is basically the class for, uh, the doubt clearing. Okay. Revision part 3 is already done yesterday. Today we have a doubt clearing, and we would be taking the next chapter of human development and understanding psychology. Of course, we have every single part and parcel of this chapter. So, all the chapters which we have done, it's a doubt clearing. Before that, let me first introduce you guys to, the Plus subscription platform, which, of course, you all know that, and you know what's the beauty of the Plus subscription pattern. And the only thing which is beneficial here is you get all the doubts, and you get all the doubts being cleared, you get all the PDF notes, and you get the full course syllabus from the educator. As you know that special classes are mostly the trailer and the glimpses, or similarly the YT classes, but this one, we provide you with the plethora of a full course revision. And as you know that we already have done a lot of psychology classes on Plus, on Special, on YouTube. This one is a full course revision, and whichever questions you have, feel free and ask. And welcome back. My name is Professor Urmi, your CBSE Plus verified educator for class 11th and 12th. Just a little about me, and I hope that you guys have a great endeavor with us at Unacademy. There's a recent feature which is being launched in Unacademy, is the Ask a Doubt feature. Okay, now if you guys have your learning apps in the mobile, it becomes very easy for you to follow the process, the procedure, and just go and check out how the Ask a Doubt feature works. Okay, not just your specific subject related, but it can be any subject which you have a keen interest or a doubt in. Okay, now the way it works is, like, for example, ask unlimited doubts. You can ask anything. You are going to receive exact answer of your questions. You are going to get high quality video solutions in English and Hindi, whichever language you would prefer. You would get assistance with homework. That's the most important thing. And the best part is you can obtain instant and accurate solutions for lakhs of questions which come as a pool. Now, how you go about it is you follow, hi JQber, hello, welcome. You basically follow the drill here. Click on step 1, ask it out, then you go on click picture, select it from the gallery. Step 3 is basically click the picture of your question. Moving to the next one is basically crop the highlighted part, whichever you want to ask to the educator. Once you crop it, you choose the subject. Okay, for example, it can be English, it can be mathematics, it can be economics, it can be physics, it can be chemistry, anything. Okay, just go ahead and check it out. And then the last process is just sit back, relax, ideally, because you're going to definitely come across the answer very, very soon. Now, along with this, as you know that the Plus platform gives you daily practice sections, it is going to give you the mock test series, it gives you live quizzes and etc. In terms of the objective and subjective test series. Moving to the next one is the Unacademy subscription pricing. Hi Aditya, hello, how are you? How are you doing, Aditya? Okay, so the subscription platter here brings you a plethora of options, okay, for the plus schemes, starting from the first month, which is 2,700 rupees, to 24 months, okay, or which goes up and up and up. As an educator, I would always suggest you guys to go select a subscription plan which suits your uh, desires and availability of how much you want to go ahead with it. Now next is the iconic subscription. Now this brings you the features where you get a personal mentor, okay, you get a one-on-one guidance or from the educators of your concerns for your concerns. You sit back, you relax, because you directly also have a parent connect. Okay, so Educator is actually basically giving you a 360-degree support system, just like a tutor, personal tutor. Okay, but there's a personal mentor, and he or she gives you the right guidance or with study planners and whichever guidance you want to ace your examinations. All right, these are the iconic subscription pricing. Definitely, there is a difference between the plus and the iconic. If you actually see, the plus subscription pattern for 3 months is costing you 6,750, whereas this one is costing you 10,800. Of course, the only reason being you get a hands-on experience which you are single-handedly using. So yes, you can see that space where you are applying a code and you get a 10% discount. So you can use my referral code, that's Urmi10, you and Urmi Live, whichever you want for special offer live, whichever code you must have seen. Most of the students get confused that ma'am, which one to use. Any of them, whichever you want, you can use it, and you get a straight, 10% discount. So I would suggest use the referral code. Um, the referral code is Urmi Live. Okay, moving ahead. This was only valid till the month of 28th, where you were getting a flat. But this is my referral code, that's Urmi Live, and you get all the features. You can download them from the Unacademy app, and it's basically free, so you can go ahead and check them out. Now, moving to the chapter, we are basically going to take, there are many chapters as I have discussed with you guys, and yesterday we have already taken the chapters. Okay, now yesterday I told you guys we will also be doing human development full chapter. We would be doing human memory. We have already done learning and thinking. So if you come across any questions or doubts here, please feel free and ask, because this is the fourth chapter. Taplu, ma'am, please start, please. Absolutely, beta. We are starting. I'm just telling you the features. I'm telling you the plans and everything. It's very important for you to know. Okay, moving ahead. Chapter number 4 is human development. Okay, now what exactly do you understand by the term development? Okay, what do you mean by the word development? Basically, your human development starts right from the beginning. Okay, which is just from your home, okay, just when you start. Now this basically consists of physical changes, guys, okay, which are observed. You must have seen that, oh, I have a good height, she doesn't have a good height, or probably she is good in the skin color, I do not have it. So the development and the process of growth is a little different. Okay, so it's not the same. How I'm going to come to that, but before that, remember, development begins right from the conception until the moment of death. And we not only change physically, guys, but we also change the way we think. Let's take an example here about maturity. When you were in your class fifth, okay, and what you are in class 11th today, probably there's a huge margin where things have changed, your experiences have been different, and somewhere or the other you're seeing these changes in yourself or your identity. Now this is a very important role that you need to know, very sorry, how as an individual you have or you are developing. Okay, development is a pattern, okay, of progressive, orderly and predictable changes. Okay, this begins at conception and continues throughout life, guys. Throughout life, development involves changes, okay, growths and decline. Now why do I say it? It can be anything. Okay, for example, if you are running and you have a good speed, doesn't mean that you will have the same speed when you are at an age of 60, because the things will be changed, right? You might not have the same kind of caliber or same kind of strength which you were having when you were young. Development is also influenced, okay, by an interplay of biological, cognitive and socio emotional process. Okay, so these three things are very important. Biological, yesterday's chapter, we clearly in the human of basis in human behavior, basis of human behavior, we studied how biological changes are important for your body. It has to support your mental thoughts, it has to support your physical changes, and it, it moves ahead, because if if your body is good, if you are healthy with your inner body, it's better and it's helpful to you that your inner self with thoughts and the processes are better. Next is cognitive. It has definitely do with acceptance and thoughts, the way you think, the way you accept, the way you feel. And socio emotional process, which has to be, of course, the society, the interaction. Emotional, as in it has a lot to do with how you're trying to inherit, inculcate, and be a part of that emotional change or process. Development due to genes inherited from the parents. Okay, now this is height or weight. Not every time it can be true. Okay, sometimes you might not have the same kind of height as your parents have. We speak about genes. Yesterday we have discussed about the genes as well. Okay, we've discussed about phenotype, we discussed about the chromosomes, we discussed about x and x, x and y. Okay, right, if you remember, we spoke about every single thing which is helpful to us in development. Okay, all point towards the role of biological processes here. Why the parents involved here? Because this comes from them. It's the X sperm with the Y chromosome with the Y gene. This is X and X which gives you this result. X and Y gives you this result. It as per the gender which I'm talking about, the chromosomes and the genes which I'm telling you. It's about the identification of the gender. Now similarly, the same genes and the same sperms also result in something called as the genetic transformation from one to another, which we called is inheritance from your genes, okay, which can come from your parents. Whereas the role of cognitive process in development relates to the mental activities. I clearly told you it is about the thought, it is about the person attention when you're trying to look at something, when you're trying to solve a problem. Something has happened, someone has met with an accident. Suddenly you think like what should be next? What do I do? Your cognitive action and your processes are involved, because you're trying to think things, trying to put across certain things which has to be channelized in a much more better way. Socio-emotional process influences the development or effort to changes in an individual's interaction with the people. How you talk with others, how you behave with them, how they behave with you. And it brings a change in your personality. I'm sure you must have noticed when you start going to school, your personality sees some of the other changes slowly. Then you move ahead and you go to higher education, seek, you make better friends, the quantity goes up. That time you feel that okay, your emotional processes or involvement is getting more in the same thing. Let me give you one more example of the changes in emotion and personality. Maybe let's take a mother's affectionate hug to a child. Okay, now this is a gesture of love when you're trying to show that okay, it's an emotion, it's a feeling. Similarly, an adolescent's sorrow at losing a match are all reflections of socio emotional processes, which is involved in human development, right? These things, okay, that we've won, we lost a match here. I'm feeling bad. How much I thought that we will win it, we lost it. This also is a reflection of the socio-emotional process which is involved in the human development, because it is about your thought, it is about your happiness, it's about your joy, it's about your sorrow, it might be your anger, it might be every single thing which you can think. Okay, definitely a major part and parcel of human development. It belongs to, it definitely um relates to some of the other process mentally, emotionally, and it majorly plays an important role in the human development, guys. Okay, so I hope before I start with the lifespan, guys, is it clear till here? Anybody, whoever is watching right now, can you just give me, Ria, can you please tell me if it's clear, beta? Okay, Ria says clear. Fantastic, beta. Thank you so much. I was waiting for your answer. I think now we move ahead. We start with what exactly is a lifespan perspective on development. I'm sure you guys must have heard about the word lifespan. Okay. Remember, development is a lifelong process. Okay. It is not going to stop from the time of conception where you were born till the time of death. Conception will go on, it will not stop. Okay, it will not stop. Now, it includes gains and losses. Every single thing you learn in your life, you will have issues. Every single failures you have, you will have issues. But it will go on. Okay. Before we move ahead, I wanted to ask you guys, Ria, and others, as I can see there are many watching. Can you guys tell me, when are you expecting your psychology exams to be in the month of March? Is it in the month of March end or mid March? Because I will then execute a few more classes of objectives for you guys, maybe your long answers, depending on what you state. So please put it across on the comment section, guys. When do you expect your exam? Please write, guys. It is both positive and negative. Correct. It is on March 8th. Okay, yeah, then I'm glad that I have taken all the revision classes beforehand only, to avoid further delays, because I was thinking many of you guys have it in the month of March end. So, any which ways, even if you guys have it on month of March end, anyone who's watching it, let me know. Okay. Now, let's move ahead. Along with development, okay. Now, along with development, okay, जो what we call is taking place across the conception that it can consist of, you know lucid things of which will just happen like this. See, every single development is different. Okay, every person has seen a development differently in their lives. So what is your development, Ria, is not the same thing with me. For me it is different, for you it is different. So development differs from person to person and individual to individual in terms of even their lifespan. Okay, moving to the next part is various process of development, which is biological, which is cognitive, socio-emotional, are interwoven. What do you mean by interwoven? It's an interconnected concept. Okay, it's not that both of them are way too different. It is an interconnected concept. Okay, now development is multi-directional. Some dimensions or components or a given dimension of development may increase, okay, while others show a decrement. For example, the experiences of adults may make them take wiser decisions. I told you about maturity. Okay, I told you about much maturity here. That is basically based on the decisions you take. However, with an increase in age, one's performance is likely to differ. Like I just told you about the speed when you run. You might have a speed of, you might have a fantastic running speed when you are 20, 25, but your speed will decrease when you are 45, 55, or 60, because it depends on the age. Your adolescence, the way your energy consumes, the way your body is, the way you react, stuff, etc. Development is elastic and plastic. Sorry, this is important because here the highly plastic concept is about which develops and differs from one person to another. Okay, the skills and abilities. Now, whatever skills and abilities I have now doesn't mean that my sister should have the same skills and ability. It's different for her, it's different for me. Development is influenced by historical conditions. Yes, your grandparents are not, have never seen a life like you guys are seeing. For them, forget Unacademy. For them, the teaching and concept of learning online, virtually, is absolutely very different. They've never thought that we can actually sit back home, study in front of a laptop, interact with people, know about them, know what they feel, know what they're lacking in, and someone can guide them online. It's different. Okay, development in the concern of number of disciplines. Now this is basically, this is always there in all the subjects of humanities. When you feel that all of them, it is like plastic and as mat can be modified according to our needs. Absolutely, Ria, correct. It can be modified according to our needs. Development also differs in terms of different disciplines. For example, it's interconnected. Like sociology has a lot to do with psychology, psychology has a lot to do with economics, economics has a lot to do with political science, etc. So the entire concept of development here in the lifespan is interconnected with the other disciplines or the subjects. Now, an individual responds and acts on context, which include that was inherited, the physical environment, social, historical, cultural context, etc. Example, someone has just suddenly seen a death in the family. So things or the situation for that person will be very, very different from, the others. Or he must have experienced a sudden earthquake or losing a parent. That person is not going to have the same life or lifestyle like you. For him, the things are different. For you, the things are different. For every single person, okay, I must be having a great life according to you, but the life might be different. Okay, what you feel, what you see is never the same as your perceptions are. Every individual, in terms of the context in which they inherit or they go through or they're treated, it's kind of practical, it is very different from each other. Okay, next is growth, development, maturation, and evolution. Now, difference between growth and evolution, I told you. The growth and development, growth refers to the increase in the size of body parts. Like, for example, you can say my hair has a beautiful growth, your hair is growing. Development is a change throughout your life cycle. Term development basically reflects to your uh, what is going to happen next, what is the process in development, it's going to next stage. Whereas growth refers to a single growth of your hair, height, as simple as that, weight. Okay, now how about maturation? Now this has a lot to do with the changes that follows in different sequence, and it has nothing to do with your age, guys. Okay, if you say that, okay, just because I'm now 20 I'm mature, and just because he's 10 he's not mature, he or she might be more mature than you. So it has nothing to do with the age here. Some kids start walking at an age of 7 months, some might be just taking 1 year. It's different, it's not the same. Okay, remember, growth and development absolutely is different from each individual, each child, each uh, human, social animals, etc. It's different from for everybody, not just social animals. So it's so different from even for the animals, guys. So once the underlying physical structure is sufficiently developed, it becomes very easy, and the proficiency in this behavior require adequate environment. Growth is only positive, but development is both. Yes, because see, growth is going to happen for the betterment. Sometime growth also now, if you say weight is good, Ria, it is actually the same. If you say no, your weight is only increasing, that's not good. No, then you're becoming fat, then you're putting on a lot of weight. It's not that good also. I think it both has its own way of dealing with certain things, and that's the reason growth and development go hand in hand. Any one of them takes a toss and the other one faces the heat. So these processes seem to unfold within the following and the inner genetically determined timetable that is characteristic of the species. Is it clear, guys? Any questions still here? Clear? Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Ria. Just reply, okay, beta, then it becomes easy for me to move ahead. Live stream is maybe 20 to 30 seconds later. Okay, thanks, Ria. You guys know better, man. Okay, let's move to the next one. That's evolution. Okay, now evolution refers to species specific changes. Okay, natural selection is an evolutionary process that favors individuals or species that are best adapted to survive, reproduce. Okay, the evolutionary changes are passed from one generation to another or the next within a species. Okay, evolution proceeds at a very slow pace. Emergence of human beings, okay, which I'm trying to tell you here, is about taking 14 years. Can someone tell me what exactly do you mean by evolution? Ria, can you please try? What do you mean by evolution? What do you mean by evolution? Can anybody tell me what do you mean by evolution? Evolution is a progressive and continuous process with the 10 pre-existing specific to adapt the environmental conditions. See, beta, not just tends, okay. Now it is not just the evolution which is tending in order to adapt the environmental changes, but you have to also understand very importantly that it is, passed from one generation to another. Okay, now revolution is different and evolution is different. This you guys need to know. Okay, revolution is different and evolution is different. Evolution takes time, revolution may be quick. Okay, remember the difference between these two things. Now, it has been estimated that homo sapiens have come into existence only about 50,000 years ago. Okay, 50,000 years ago. Now, the factors which are influencing the development is somewhere or the other in regards to what is happening. It can be intelligence, it can be the learning abilities, it can be the thinking memory, it can be characteristics like physical characteristics, it can be anything. Okay, now, despite variations, no one can be mistaken than the species. Now, we are all human beings, Homo sapiens. Now, we are almost like each other, but at the same time, we are different from each other, like our lives. Okay, occurs due to natural selection. Correct. Now, for example, our lives. Okay, whatever you eat, I also eat the same thing. Maybe our taste buds are different. So you also take bath. You also keep yourself clean. I also take bath. Maybe the cosmetics or the soap which you use is different than mine. So what I'm trying to say here, what they are trying to say here in factors influencing the development, you're same. You have same features and characteristics, but you're still different because this is about the variations and influence to factors of changes, okay, in terms of development. We perceive differently, very very differently. That's the reason it's like it goes beyond, it's never limited, it's just different things in different ways. So the answer lies in the interaction of heredity and environment. Uh, Things around us, the way we react, economy, socially, every single way. Okay, next is genetic transmission. Please remember, this has a lot to do with the characteristics and the behavior which has come from the previous times to the what we are seeing now. This is very complex. Most characteristics that we observe in humans are the combinations of larger number of genes. Now you can imagine the combinations which are produced by 80,000 or more genes, accounting to or for a variety of characteristics and behavior. Okay, it is not possible to possess all the characteristics which are made available to us by the genetic structure. Now this is an important part. And why I'm saying this, because somewhere or the other the genetic transmission happens, which which takes place in individuals. It is also known as genotype. Now this I had told you guys in the previous class also, what is a phenotype, what is a genotype, how it matters, and what is the difference. Now phenotype, on the other way, is the individual's genotype, which is expressed in an observable and measurable characteristic. Okay, phenotype includes physical traits, height, weight, okay, skin, eye color, many psychological characteristic, which is creativity, personality, intelligence. Now this differs. Okay, why? For example, you take something from your parents, something with some characteristics which you inherit from the environment. Now imagine you are an introvert, you don't open up with people, and suddenly you start going to the school, meet the peer people, folks, and suddenly you start opening up and talking with them. Suddenly you try to mingle with them. Somewhere or the other, the way you develop or the way you try to connect in the particular way in the society takes time, or maybe no time, but might happen depending on the environment or the traits which happen. Okay, now the influences, like I told you, that maybe you are a shy person and suddenly, rather in a school or a college or with your friends, you start talking. So these can be environmental changes and influence, guys. Why? Because this case is depending on the child, where somewhere or the other it predisposes him or her to be introvert in an environment that promotes social interaction, extroversion. Now, the influence of such an environment may make a child a little feel extrovert. Okay, why do we speak about this? Can you tell? Genotype in which is expressed is called a phenotype or visible. Correct, Ria? Ria, can you tell me any one influence which you have seen, any one environmental influence which you have seen, probably in your own behavior? Any of the changes which you have seen? For example, I have seen this influence. Okay, that many children who come to the college, First years, they are very different. They don't talk, they don't try to share things. Slowly and steadily, by the time they reach the second year or the final year, they are a changed and a transformed person altogether. Maybe because of the people. My cousin was introvert, but along with her friends, she's become extrovert. See, I told you. This is what I'm trying to say. This is the interaction which probably with the society and the surrounding does to you, the environment does to you. I think that's a very beautiful thing. Sometimes it's bad also, because sometimes you try to learn wrong things which is not required. Next is, what are environmental influences? Now, in this influence, we can also speak about the context where it is promoting interaction. It is also making, the child extroverted, like you shared that your cousin was an introvert and suddenly you have seen her as extrovert. Okay, now let us take one more example here. If an individual with short height genes, if he or she is in a very good nutritional environment, will never be able to be taller than average. Now, why we are saying this? If probably if this happens, then it is not going to, which is a part and parcel of the height genes. Similarly, the context of development does not take place in the vacuum, guys. Okay, it requires a lot of, like, peer pressure. Yes, peer pressure also can be very, very beautifully given as an example, Ria. Good job. Good answer, Ria. Okay, now you can say that getting married, reaching to a place from being a student to a college student to getting into a professional life, working person, steadily falling in love, or probably getting married, having kids, leading a life, having children, getting, retired. These all functional changes of biological and one's environment. So the environment can change or alter during any time of the individual's lifespan. Very important to know here is the context of development. Correct? Any questions here? Any doubts still here, guys? Clear? Let's move ahead. No doubts? Fantastic. Hi, Nana. How are you? Long time. Okay. Now, the microsystem is an immediate environment setting, okay, in which the individual lives. Now, this consists of many different social agents, guys: family, peer, teacher, neighborhood. Now, exactly after your family comes the roll call of your teachers or the friends, who also play an important role, or somewhere or the other. It depends on the quality of your, in Hindi, there's a proverb or the quote which we say, Sangat ka asar. Now, this basically happens when you try to be with the people who affect or influence you, okay, who play an important role in your life, in terms of your thought process, the way you think, the way you, react, and many things here play an important role in terms of experiences you have in your life. Okay, now this doesn't means that, it might be always good or it might be always bad. It's a mixed feeling, it's a mixed stuff which happens. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's vice versa. It has effects. You change as per the people you observe. Things are different. Okay, there's tension among the parents which might affect their interactions with the child, okay, etc. With different amenities, people have different ways. The children like schooling. That is the reason even poor parents, they want their children to go for a good school, because they feel If they stay with people, if they stay with good children, they learn good things. Okay. Example, exactly, correct answer, very well written, beta. Okay, so macro system, on the other hand, includes the culture in which we as an individual live. Okay, this we have read in the development, of the chapter where we have studied about it. Chrono system, on the other hand, includes the individual's life course, circumstances. Okay, for example, maybe a child goes through this kind of trauma or gets into this trauma probably when his or her parents are going through a divorce. There's a setback, there's an economic setback, okay, which has a bad effect on their child. Please remember that these things play a very important role in life. Any questions still here, guys? Friends, parents transfer to another city, correct? Because somewhere or the other, it leaves a negative setback or a setback for the kid where he or she is not able to react to it. Okay. Next is the overview of development stages. Development also comes across the place where things happen one at a time, from one to another. Okay. The you never, as a child, you never jump into being an adult. It takes time. You really lead to a place, then you become from an infant to a child, from a child to a teen, from teen to an adult. That journey takes time. It has adolescence phase. So development stages are assumed to be temporary, and they are characterized by a dominant feature of leading a characteristic, okay, which gives a period in its uniqueness. Somewhere or the other, it takes one step at a time, one at a time. Okay, so these accomplishments of a person become, um, in terms of their social expectations, the stage of development. Now they are known as development tasks, and you will read across about these uh, as main features. Okay, this will be, for example, the prenatal stage. This is the place before the conception or the birth, when you're just about to come out and pop up, about the 40 weeks which we speak in the pregnancy also. This also comes across to the place when the development during prenatal period is, and after the birth. Both genetic and environmental changes. It affects your development of what is happening, how it is happening, right or wrong, from the prenatal to the conception. Always remember this. Another source of threat to the prenatal development is the teratogens. This causes deviation in the normal development, which can lead to a serious abnormality, which is even death. This can be caused due to pollution, drug, radiation, anything, x rays. That's the reason during pregnancy, women are advised not to take alcohol or cigarettes or anything like this. This is also about the radiation, such as X-rays, something which you do the hair dryers with the pregnant women. They say that do not use it much. Don't wear heels, because somewhere or the other, there are some congenital abnormalities which happen. So to avoid these frequency and to avoid these things, um, not happening to anybody. These are the things which are being refrained from, because we're talking about human development here. Okay. Infancy. The brain develops at an amazing rate before and after birth. You have read this about the part and parcel of brain, thoughts, human behavior yesterday in the basis of human behavior. I've told you about brain. This is very important for you to know that why brain plays a most important part. Moving from this one to the motor development. Whatever your reflexes are, you start learning things from your motor development. Cuffing, looking at an eye and just doing like this, blinking, yawning. Your entire concepts here of motor development starts when you start, you're growing up. Next is your sensory abilities. Okay. Now you have to understand that by now newborns are not as competent as they look. Okay, before I move ahead from here, are there any questions which you guys have till here? Because then I will understand how much we have completed and how much are we supposed to move ahead from the in the next class, guys. Any questions still here, guys? Please reply. No doubts? Great. Thank you, Ria. All right. Tomorrow also, I'm going to continue, guys. Tomorrow's class is not going to be at this time. It's going to be in the evening around 8:50 p.m. Um, Please remember that now whatever classes I take, I will put across the details on the Telegram link. So feel free and go ahead and check out the Telegram channel link, because I'm gonna put everything across there, guys. So yes, one more time, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. And as you know that this is a full syllabus revision going on, remember we are doing the entire drill of all the chapters before your final examinations, guys. So feel free and let me know. And tomorrow we are going to exactly start where we stopped in the evening, and then we're going to take the remaining chapters. So take care of yourself, stay safe, and thank you so much. May you guys have a great day ahead. Still, if you have any questions, feel free, let me know, and I'm hoping that I'm able to solve your doubts and your queries. So Other than this, if you guys want me to take any other specific chapters, please let me know and write it across on the comment section, because whichever you guys would want, then we would be taking some more chapters, just the way you want. So yeah, that's all for today, and thank you so much, and take care of yourself, and I hope this class has helped you guys. So take care.